Bam, bam. What's up, world? Welcome to Industrial Strength Dopeness. Episode 1, man. We're kicking it off right with Zayd Malik, a revolutionary artist, human being, incredible creative, father, rapper, entrepreneur extraordinaire, who's done so much for the culture and been a part of so many magnificent moments. It's time for him to share some of that with us, chop up some game. Boom, bam. We got the ancestors right here. Rest in peace, Phil Jackson, Calais Cliviante, Shirley Hamilton, Big Man, so many others, all our ancestors. Hope they bless us on this mission for this first episode on this new endeavor and continue to. What's up, Zayd?
Do man, what it do, man? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you having me on, man. Let's
It's
chop it
good,
up,
brother.
man. What we talking about?
It's
Straight ahead
good.
with it.
Well, on Industrial Strength Dopeness, we're kicking off every interview with the first question is the same question for everybody. If you made a song about your morning, this morning, right? This morning, what would the title of that song be?
This morning, slow motion. I was slow motion this morning, bro.
Slow motion. So is it slow motion
Slow
this
motion.
morning or
Last
just
night
slow
was
motion?
Valentine's Day, so niggas was staying up kind of late,
Right. I understand.
So I was slow
I'm on.
motion this morning, bro.
So is the title officially slow motion or slow
Yeah,
motion this morning?
slow motion. You gonna call it slow motion?
Okay. So how we gonna do it is on this show, and this is a pretty easy one. So go, but however, in the conversation of the whole interview, that you can organically, without forcing it, in a smooth way, slide in that title into a sentence. Every time you do it, we're gonna donate 1% of the monetization from this video to one of your favorite charities.
All right, that's dope. That's dope.
So
Fuck.
I wanted to kick this thing off from there. For those that don't know, we had a conversation before, but now we're kicking off the official podcast. So we want to double back on that convo to give some of those jewels and then expand beyond what we talked about. And what that is the concept of straight ahead as spoken by and as, demonstrated by the late, great Matulu Shakur. So the concept of straight ahead, I feel like you're a perfect person to express what that is, what that means, how you feel about it, how you interpret it, how you live it, and share that with me.
Yeah, man. So the concept of straight ahead definitely comes from the OG, my goddad, Matulu Shakur. He's somebody that coined that term. And he said it meaning, he said it to mean, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, just straight ahead. Get up and do the next step, do the next thing. You might have this distraction going on, you might have that distraction going on, but we don't live life for our distractions. We live life for our goals and our purposes, whatever those might be for you as an individual. And so straight ahead means no matter what, no matter how your day went, no matter what you got going on around you, you're moving straight ahead towards that goal, straight ahead towards that destination. Straight ahead is something that is said with a destination in mind. So first and foremost, you want to have a destination, you want to have a goal. And then once you have that goal, be led by that and then move straight ahead towards it.
I like that a lot. And,
Sure.
I always interpreted it too, just in terms of like in the game we in, a lot of people be like, we want to get to the top, let's get to the top. And then, the law of nature is what goes up must come down. So I always took it too, like, let's just keep pushing straight ahead. Like we're just moving forward.
Yeah.
Just forward motion. As long as we're in forward motion, pushing those chains forward to the next touchdown,
Yeah.
that's, staying in tune with purpose. Can you build
Yeah.
a little bit
I
on
like that.
Matulu? Thank you. Can you
Yeah,
build
for
a little
sure.
bit on Matulu
Yeah, absolutely,
Shakur?
absolutely.
Let's let them know a little bit about Matulu Shakur from your inside perspective.
Man, I would love to, man. So Mutulu was, my godfather. He was one of the co-founders of what we call the New African People's Organization, which is a black nationalist organization that believed in, reparations or just organizing black people around a particular goal, which is land, technology, and money in mind. He was a political prisoner for 38 years, and just all kind of different, penal systems. Some of the popular ones was Colorado 88, the underground prison up in Colorado, um, uh, Adelanto prison in California, a couple different California prisons, Lompoc. And like I said, he did 38 years before he was released in 2023, in December of 2023. And he was out of jail for about 7 months before he passed away from melanoma cancer. But before then, he was just a champion for our people. He was, when people talk about where the real ride is at as far as just revolutionary culture and just getting sick and tired of people just talking about it, talk. They good behind the podium, but really wasn't about no action. Mutulu represented the opposite of that. Mutulu represented that revolutionary that wasn't about no talk, but was about action. And, I met him. Well, not met him, I've always known him for all my life because, he was comrades with my parents before I was, around the time actually that I was born. But I got to know him more and more as I grew up. I finally saw him for the first time when I was 15 years old, and we just grew in our relationship from prison, through prison calls, through, prison visits and things like that. And from that perspective, I learned how much of a rider for our generation, for the hip-hop generation that he was. One of the things I loved about him was his understanding of the hip-hop generation and how he understood it as a weapon that could be used to our advantage as a people in terms of being able to speak to people in a language that we understood, and how music moves people, how music ain't no small thing. It's not, something that really can't be discounted. A lot of people think that, like I said before, revolutionary acting got to be something with guns and you got to take over the courthouse like John and George Jackson, which, we might need to do and might need to engage in at times, from time to time. But music is just and can be just as powerful as some of those actors. So that's one of the things I appreciate about him. And of course, with that in mind, he raised and was a big political contributor to the OG Tupac Shakur. And we already know how great and how much of a go he was. So
You jump
that's
right
what
in. I was
Mutulu, just
gonna,
a straight revolutionary.
yeah, you jump right onto it too. And before we jump on to some Tupac talk, you got me thinking about Bob Marley, like rebel music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? How he was totally a revolutionary through the music.
for his music. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I just saw the movie for the first time, maybe last year, sometime when I was catching the flight. And yeah, you said it, man. He was causing and wreaking havoc through his music. They was trying to, music gets banned for these same purposes because if we don't know how popular our music is, our oppressor does. And so with that in mind, songs get banned. Bob Marley was having concerts canceled and they didn't want him to come, do the concert from what I saw in the movie that they felt like was going to unite political parties, which, certain powers that be didn't want to happen. So, yeah, Bob Marley's a great example of that. Mm-hmm.
Would you
Tupac,
say
man.
who is Tupac to you in terms of like
Tupac is
what
my
does he mean?
godbrother, man.
He's your
Oh,
god
go
brother.
ahead.
Pardon me. So Tupac
Yeah.
is your god brother, and from that perspective, like who is he in terms of in the world? Like how did he impact you in your life when you were around Pac in real life?
Well, he impacted me in a very, very personal way. I first met Tupac when I was a little boy. So when I was a little boy, he was a part of this organization, this group called the New African Panthers, and the little homie group, so to speak, of the New African Panthers was the New African Scouts. So I met him as a part of, not only my big brother, my big god brother, my brother and whatnot, but also just a part of the youth leadership and the organization that I was describing that Matulu was a co-founder in a little earlier, the New African People's Organization. So when I met him, and the perspective that I knew him from was, like I said, a youth leader in this organization in Los Angeles. After he had, hindsight being 2020, when I learned more of his history and his background, realizing that he had moved to L.A. with my one of my uncles, Watani Tahamba, and he lived with him in Los Angeles after, he went through some things with his mom, but he was a teenager. And that's when I first met him personally, right? And so he just used to always be around, just like as one of the teenagers, what I would look, who I would look at as a big homie for me as a young dude, like maybe 8 or 9, just being around the organization and coming to New African Panthers meetings and New African Scouts meetings. So that was my introduction and my orientation to who Tupac was, right? Just a youth leader in New African Panthers. As everybody was growing up and everybody just growing, he became who he was. He moved away at some point. Uh, he was always rapping. Even then, he used to, rap at our little functions and our little potlucks and, programs that we used to have, like Kwanzaa programs. He was always doing that. But as he became who he would eventually be, Tupac Shakur, the Tupac Shakur that the world knows, we were just proud of him. I remember, just coming up and just always knowing who he was, and then seeing him in Juice, and then seeing him, drop an album, and then knowing he was on tour. And this was somebody that we knew before all of that started. So it was, like I said, a personal thing. It's almost like somebody that you know and it's very dear to you as becoming successful. So very proud of him, just seeing everything that he was doing. Very proud of him to the point where, he just became an impact on my music when I began to rap. Of course, when I was a little dude coming up under him, I wasn't rapping yet, but I think around my teenage years, I began to rap, and I just wanted to be a part of the flow. I wanted to be just like him, like most people did. But I felt like I had a inside understanding of why he was doing what he was doing with the thug life concept, with the outlaw concept. And so I felt like, I had a good hold, and it was almost my birthright, and it was almost, and like I said, making it personal to me, my job to carry on his legacy in a way that, was right, just, and correct. But yeah, Tupac was our brother, man. He was like our shining black prince of our generation. He was our Malcolm X.
That's right. Well put. Thank you for sharing that. And can you
Mm-hmm.
elaborate? You said something. You said the outlaw concept. Can you talk about that
Yeah.
a little bit?
So Pac was a strategist, right? Just like Mutulu was a strategist. And so all these different phrases and words that he would use, he would always, have his own definition about what it was. So, if you don't know, outlaw, based on his definition, stood for operating under thug laws as warriors. And thug life was the hate you gave little infants, fucks everybody. But uh, it was an effort to revolutionize the street culture, what Huey P. Newton would call the lumpen proletariat, which is a term and just a basic understanding that revolutionary culture comes from the street element. The folks that's not scared to get out here and be active and have action related to the word that they say. And so that's what Tupac was doing in my eyes and my interpretation with the Thug Life movement, with the Outlaw movement.
Top of your head right now in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What's your most top 3 Tupac songs that you play on repeat?
Say
You
that one more
listen to the
time. You're breaking
most.
up.
The 3 Tupac songs you listen
The
to the
Tupac song?
most. Yeah, the three
No
the
More
three
Pain.
Tupac songs.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Probably No More Pain. Hmm. I'll say Ambitions as a Rider. Um, Probably Straight Ballin'. Straight Ballin' was one of my all-time favorite Tupac songs.
Man,
Yeah,
come on.
but
Come
definitely No
on.
More Pain and Straight Ballin'.
Up before the sunrise, first they hit the block.
Little
Come on,
bad
man.
motherfucker with a pocket full of rocks, starting to throw them things.
Come
Getting
on.
a little, yeah, that was my shit growing up. Cause you
Yeah,
gotta
man.
think, like, that album came out, that was the Thug Life Volume 1 album. And I remember being in like the 9th or 10th grade when that album came out, and him being on tour, and me at school having all the Tupac shirts. I was like the first nigga at the school with the CD. So that whole, like, I had all the merch like at school, and everybody used to ask me, where you get that shirt from? Where you get that from? And that's when he at first really started, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was like after Tupacalypse now, and like his style was starting to change, and it was just becoming more and more street uh oriented, like as far as the thug nature of his music was starting to shine through a little more because he started to speak to the streets a little more. He had went through a little more, so he's just more popular in the hood at that time. And I had all the merch. I had the actual CD and nobody had it. I had most of the copy of Thug Life Volume 1 and nobody had it. So just those little things was like, you know, very memorable to me. But definitely that song. That's like one of the first probably hip hop songs because like my parents, they was kind of, you know, on that shit that they was on. So like I was getting Snoop CD coming out the house, broken. Like I couldn't listen to certain shit coming up, but they'll let me listen to Tupac. So that was one of the very first CDs with that song on it. I remember that they didn't kind of, you know, because it was Tupac, because they knew Tupac as a little dude. They didn't mind me listening to it.
Right. And they understood the
Yeah.
revolutionary element too was in there.
Yeah. I don't think they did, because I remember at the time, like all the women in our organization, they was mad at him because they felt like he was turning on us, you know, as a organization. Of course, I felt differently, and the youth felt differently. We felt like we understood what he was saying and what he was trying to say and all that, but like a lot of the elders, they was kind of, for a time at first, they was kind of like, you know, felt like he was contradicting the way that he was brought up. In time, they started to understand, and even now they appreciate him more than they did then. But you know, you go through that struggle as a person that's breaking through, and I think, like I said, our foundation and our elders, they didn't understand him at that time. You know what I'm saying? You know, but still, he was still our brother. It's almost like, well, that is your people, so you can listen to him. But all this other shit, all this bitches and hoes, all this Snoop shit, bitches and shit, we ain't letting that shit fly in the house. Because you know him, we'll let you listen to him type of shit. Also just regular because you know him type of shit.
What movie do you think Pac, you know, exhibited the greatest act like of his acting skills, right? He was definitely a great actor, right? Is there a movie you feel like, yo, he really killed this in terms of the acting? Because he did a few other movies that aren't always as talked about. You know?
Yeah, Poetic Justice probably. Poetic Justice, Juice, his very first one. I mean, that nigga had me scared. Like, what the fuck? This nigga was like a King Von type. He was on King Von shit. It come like a serial killer type of shit. That nigga was like a real serial killer in the movie. It was like a hood horror movie if you really remember Juice. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was scary in that shit.
There's a
And
dope
he
theory
pulled that
that the
shit off.
man, and there's a like a quote fan theory or whatever you call it, or online. The homie Day One showed me. Shout out to him. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole thing is Bishop's daydream, like from when he's looking out the window after the Blizzard robbery. It's like the rest of the movie is his daydream. They
Mm-hmm.
break it all down and how it connects to the movie they was watching, and it's wild, bro. Y'all gotta check that out just to check that out. But back to the
That sounds hella
Outlaws.
interesting. I would love to
It,
check
it
that
you,
out.
got- you know you gotta check it out for real.
Yeah.
I can't even watch Juice the same anymore, to be honest. So it's
Word.
a trip.
Word.
Outlaws did an
Yeah.
album with Dead Prez called "Can't Sell Dope
Yeah.
Forever," and
Yeah.
on that album they had a song called "Fork in the Road." And
Mm-hmm.
that we were doing the music video for that about the time you and I met. That's how we met. And so we're both connected to the Outlaws and Dead Prez. How did you become a part of the Dead Prez family, and what's that connection like, and some Dead Prez memories anything you got from those early interactions?
My godmother, one of my godmothers, her name, rest in peace, now the Vidon, was a Cuban exile in Cuba. Uh, she actually was underground with Mutulu before he actually got captured in 1986. But when he went to jail, he was able to, quote unquote, escape and get to Cuba, and the Cuban government gave her asylum. From there, she started hosting these Black August concerts. And Dead Prez was invited to like the second or the third one. And that's when they had first started popping. And then I got a chance to go out there when I first started rapping. And so I met Dead Prez in Cuba through my godmom, the Honda Beaton. And she introduced me to him. You know what I'm saying? I remember at that time I was like 17. I was getting into a lot of shit. I was getting in trouble where I was at in Atlanta. And then I remember when she first got with me, she was like, all right, don't be out here doing that bullshit you was on it. Cause the Cuban government don't play that shit, nigga. Don't be out here fucking up. Cause they gon', don't be out here smoking and drinking. Just as she's walking me up to go introduce me to them. And she's saying all that, and as she's saying this to me, we opened the door, and that's exactly what they was in there doing, smoking and drinking. And she's trying to drop me off to them. That's how I met them, you know what I'm saying, in Cuba. And then we just formed a relationship. They kind of took me up under their wing. I just was, OGs to a nigga type of shit. So that's how I met them, and we just kind of never, lost contact with each other. To this day, Stick is one of my best friends. The Outlaw, just, always growing up around them, just being around them. And actually, when Stick was moving from New York to Atlanta, I just took him to the studio with the Outlaws one day because I was already in and out of the studio with the Outlaws all the time. I used to go up to their studio where we used to record all the time. And just hang out, record, and all that type of shit. Yeah, on Howard Mill Road, I believe it was.
Somewhere over there.
Stick had just moved to Atlanta, and he didn't know nobody. And my nigga Umi told him to call me, and he called me, and we just started hanging out. And one night I just took him over there, introduced him to everybody, and everybody was like, oh shit, because, niggas fucking with their Prez at that time. So that's how they met. And from there, they kind of formulated their own relationship. And the rest is history, you know what I'm saying? So after that, Stick kept coming to the studio. And, they obviously got the idea for the Can't Feel Dope Forever album, which was all of them on there. And, niggas just been rocking ever since.
Absolutely, man. Huge shout out to Stick and M1, Umi, the whole RBG family, and all that. It's the 25th anniversary of the Let's Get Free album. 25th anniversary now.
It.
Let's Get Free. What does that album mean to you, and what do you feel like it means to the culture?
Man, I was like, that album was like my calling card. I ain't gonna lie. Like a lot of what's on that album is how I grew up. Like the whole red, black, and green is something that I grew up understanding and knowing what it was from birth. From celebrating Kwanzaa to just those colors being color of the flag of the Republic of New Africa. Those same colors. So I was always familiar with the colors and what they represented and what they meant. And just the verbiage, the method, everything that they was talking about is what I knew. But at the same time, I'm going to public school. You know what I'm saying? So even just my name, I was always like, huh? Yeah. But I always stood out because of my African name and just how I grew up. Even though I was going to public school, I was going to the New African Scout meetings and participating in different programs. So it was like a little bit of a dichotomy, so to speak, if you will, if you understand what that word means for me. And how I grew up and the hood, just going to public school. Like I was going to New African Scout meetings and participating in revolutionary education and getting educated on a revolutionary level from birth, but then going to public school where nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about at the time. So when Dead Prez came out, I remember I used to just be like, man, this is what I've been trying to tell y'all, listen to this. And then I'll play the CD and let them hear certain songs on there. And then I would have this feeling of vindication. Like, this is what I've been, because it was hard. It was like, Bigger Than Hip Hop was a hit at the time. So everybody knew the song and loved it. And, they started this wave of, everybody wanted to, be on some RBG shit, Black Power shit back then. But before that, really wasn't nobody on no shit like that, except for like Public Enemy. But it was like a gap between them and Dead Prez. So for a while, everybody was just on what they was on, street shit. And then Dead Prez came. And so that's what it meant to me. It just gave me an opportunity to show people and tell people what I had been trying to, basically represent, but in a way that they can understand through hip hop, which goes back to what I was saying about Mutulu and him understanding how hip hop is a weapon and can be used to our advantage in terms of being able to speak in a language that people could understand in our generation. And Dead Prez represented that for me. They gave me an opportunity to let people listen to what I was trying to say, and then they can hear it in rap form, which is more digestible than me or anybody for that matter, just trying to preach to them and tell them, you know, what they trying to say just in a conversation. Well, you could just play the song, and then if you could bob your head to the song, the words gonna get to your spirit, and then, you know, enough said.
And in that spirit too, I like to just, pay homage to the spirits of and the legacies of people like the Watts Prophets, Last Poets, Gil Scott Heron, X Clan, you know what I mean, as well as Public Enemy and Dead Prez, and others that, fell through the cracks, so to speak, that, might not have got all the notoriety, but were still, about the campaign.
Mm. Shout out, brother Drake. Look.
See, there you go, Brother Jay, big homie, man. I ain't seen him in years, man. Hope him and the family as well. Um, you know, it's a lot of people out here, man. And in terms of revolutionary education, that makes me think about your relationship with Nipsey Hussle. And just could you build a little bit on, how you knew Nip and how he was sort of activated in terms of his revolutionary education, being with you and your family?
Yeah, man. So Neil was just always a smart ass little dude, man. Like from a young age, he was just a very, very intelligent little nigga. You know what I mean? And I met him like at that time. I was about 20 years old. I was just coming back and forth to LA from Atlanta, back and forth a lot, doing music and doing other things. And I had this song. I think I came out here for a good stint for a few months, and I had this song that I had done, and it was just pre-production. Um, So I did it like in a pre-production studio, but then I got some time in like a quote unquote bigger studio to really do it, like to really make it sound how it's supposed to sound. And when it was time to do that, it was a dude that was on the song, and I couldn't get in touch with him. And he was like a very important piece of the song. And shout out the homie Rollo, he had did the beat for it. And so we trying to find somebody to get on the song. He called him, you know what I mean? He was like, come get on the song. It was the very first time he'd ever been to the studio, like of that caliber, and it was the very first time recording when he got on my phone. And
So
from the very first time he spit,
Nipsey Hussle's first time ever recording was with you on your song. And how old was he?
he was about 15.
Okay, continue,
He was
please.
about 15 years old. And yeah, he just walked in, he's like on some backpack shit before he started gangbanging or anything. And the song was called Something Ain't Right, you know what I'm saying? And I was on the shit that I was on, and he came in just spitting. He talking about Marcus Garvey, he talking about slave ships, enslaved Africans. He just really, and he spitting that shit hard. You know what I'm saying? He really sound like a young Nas. And it was his very first time. So his very first time, he killed it. Like, nigga, he sounded like he been in the studio 100 times, but it was his first time, and that's how I met him. And from there, we kind of just built our own relationship. Shortly after that, I went back to, I came back to Atlanta, and then, he hit me like on his own. I was like, I want to come out there and we're gonna make some moves. Just trying to, get some shit cracking with the weed and, amongst other things. And so we were trying to, build a pipeline with the marijuana back then. And this was him at 16 years old. He was all some shit like that. So he came out to Atlanta and he lived with me for a few months because, the shit didn't go how we planned. So he kind of got stuck out there. And the whole time we were just bonding, I held him down. We were just kind of, bonding on some brotherly shit. Like I said, he lived with me for a few months at that time. And long story short, to get him home, we had to sell, believe it or not, a CD that I put together with Matulu called Dare Struggle. And we were selling those CDs every day downtown Atlanta to get the money up to get him a plane ticket back home because our hustle just didn't go how we wanted to go. And from there, he went back home. He finally got back home and he just got on his grind. You know what I'm saying? He just kept going. We stayed in contact, kept our relationship going. Every time I would come back to LA, I would hang out with him. We would go to the studio. He had his own studio right there, right behind where, his shop used to be. Used to be a house that he used to live in, like a back apartment where the
That
dude named
studio.
Dexter used to stay. Yeah.
Yeah, he took me
And
over.
yeah, yep. And that's where we used to record at, and that's where we used to just hang out before, he eventually got the shop and all of that. And yeah, from there, I just saw him grow and become who he was, who he became. And it was just, like I said, same thing with Tupac. It's very a proud um moment in history. Just like I said, just seeing the growth, being able to see somebody very close to you become very successful was a beautiful thing to see.
It is beautiful, man. And, rest in peace, Nip. Shout out to the whole
Rest in
team,
peace,
Black
man.
Sam.
Yeah.
The marathon
So,
continues.
absolutely. Shit, I got my shirt on right now, as a matter of fact.
Saying so, it's just it's a blessing, and that's a beautiful artifact. Piece of hip hop history that you are protecting and are the steward of, the guardian of. And for the listeners
Mm-hmm.
out there, I've had a chance to hear this verse, Nipsey Hussle's first verse, and man, it's beautiful to hear that. It's phenomenal just to know that that was his first verse. Like, it's crazy. It's like, it's only 8 bars, but man, like he said, he's Garvey and he was going in like already. Like, it,
Yeah.
it, it was dope to hear that, man.
Right. Yeah.
Well, speaking for
Right.
everybody
Big
in the
bro.
world, man, we appreciate your contributions to the game, and in the way that,
Thank you, bro.
things happen in this world. We're connected and we influence and inspire, and we're all pushing forward, and you really never
Yeah.
know, where somebody's gonna go, where somebody's gonna take it, and all
No
that.
way. You
And
played a major part though in what I've been doing and what I'm doing, man. You shot my very first video, bro. And that was a very big turning point in what I was doing because when you shot that video, man, people really wasn't doing videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh,
shout out
same could be
Stickman.
said about you in terms of who you are, bro, as a director and all the videos that you shot for folks. Like, you really, jump started a whole, I think, movement. Quiet as kept, man, in terms of just videos, man. When nobody shooting videos before, but he was, moving through all the hood, coming out of Labco and just, fearlessly just walking through all kind of hooded out areas and shooting videos for people for free. And I just happened to be one of those through our connection. And definitely, man, you played a major part in and just bringing, you know, art to life for me and just for a lot of different folks that doing what I'm doing. It like I said, just the whole video culture, man. You played a major role in that, man. So shout out to you, bro.
I appreciate that. I received that love, man. And, humongous shout out to Lafco, Ty Roosbally, Big Mac, Chris Cronin, rest in peace. Cody Lusich, the whole squad. That was a great era, and a beautiful way to be introduced, to you and your family. Shout out to your whole family, who's definitely shown me plenty of love every time I pulled up, and really
Mhm.
helped me understand family and family values on another level, a great level that I wasn't used to
Mhm.
seeing as a kid, and so it's
Yeah.
just inspiring, to see you and your family dynamic, and I appreciate that. You just
So
being
man, no
that
problem.
walking
Yep.
demonstration, of that greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank
Yeah, it's all there. Doubling back on Dead Prez real quick before we move forward. One of the key staples in Dead Prez movement, especially in regards to Let's Get Free, the album, is the record Be Healthy and the
you. Mhm.
concept of being healthy. And that is a revolutionary concept that is often overlooked in the conversation of revolution.
Yeah.
And so how important is health and fitness? What is that in your life? How does that play a role in your life? And how does that play a role in the overall, revolution of us uniting in some form and fashion to move
Yeah.
forward in a positive direction?
I mean, as far as that's concerned, I think that especially now people are starting to understand why health and fitness is so important just in your daily life. Health and fitness wasn't as popular then. It's kind of, it's kind of a thing now. Like people are more educated on what it means to be healthy and fit now than they were, I think, some years ago. But just as far as movements are concerned, as far as revolution is concerned, you want to just be in shape. You want to be healthy mind, body, and spirit. And I think people are getting hip to the fact now that if you're not healthy body-wise, it's hard to think straight. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, if you can't think straight, be a spiritual person. You know what I mean? So all those things go hand in hand. They kind of fit into each other, so to speak. So for me personally, it's my therapy. It's my longevity. It's my way to set an example for my children. I have children. It's my way of keeping up with my children. It's my way of being able to be effective energetically in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tool. So just being healthy and being fit is a tool for life. And the many aspects of life. In terms, like I said, spirituality, educating yourself. You want to be able to be here long enough to see the fruits of your labor, so you want to take care of yourself. So, you know, I think for me, it became just that much more important in my life, just based on, you know, personal issues that we deal with, and we trying to find a way to get through them. So just working out for me became my therapy. You know, I work out, I feel better. Whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm dealing with, and you know, life will throw you some curveballs from time to time, as I'm sure we all know. Well, working out was my cheat code. Being able to hit the gym and sweat that shit out was my cheat code. Helped me to get through just, you know, a lot of dark times in my life, you know. And as a man, you're gonna go through those things. As a person, you're gonna go through those things because they only, you know, serve to make you a stronger person, a more effective person. And so that's definitely what I experienced. You know, we don't let our hard times get us down. We go do something about it. And for me, working out, reading, exercise, staying spiritual, you know, you want to be spiritually fit. You know what I mean? You want to be fit in terms of what you're putting into your body, which is something that I'm working more on now. As you know, bro, I used to be drinking a Red Bull and, you know, just eating whatever, fast food all the time. And so that's like the natural evolution for me as you know, I go to the gym down there every day. But the natural evolution for me is my nutrition. The next, you know, step in the game for me is my nutrition, which I'm a lot better at now than I was. But just understanding the importance of that and how those things correlate to each other, and then how that makes you feel. Like, that's the most important thing. If you could feel good, you could think straight, you could strategize better for your family, for your community. So it goes hand in hand.
That a lot, and you know what?
Yeah.
It makes me think about, like, in this country in particular that we live in right now. You know, America, right? It seems like the people who make the most delicious poison make the most money, and there's a lot of delicious poisons out here, right? And a lot of people
Yeah.
live in like food deserts, or don't even have an education or even an example of how to live any other way besides consume just delicious poison all day, right? So like, would
Right.
you have any recommendations to people who are, you know, hearing this now and are on their journey or whatever and don't have access to necessarily a lot of healthy stuff? You know what I mean? Like, is
Drink a
there
lot of
any
water.
water, bone talking?
Yeah, water. That's my go-to. I think that, like I said, when you know, when I wasn't as focused on my nutrition, the main thing I would do was make sure I exercise. You could, you know, you don't have to have a gym to exercise. And then drink a gallon of water every day is what I did. You know, a gallon of water is at every corner store for $1 and some change. You know what I'm saying?
$7 definitely. You know these
You
prices
feel
going
me?
up.
And put some water on.
$7
Yeah,
water. Oh, yeah.
the least you could do is sweat. Yeah, go jogging and drink some water. You know what I mean? And work towards it. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna start thinking clear, and you're gonna figure out a way to get some money. You know what I mean? The money gonna come to you once you get healthy. You're gonna start thinking a little more clearly eventually, and then you know that's gonna lead to, you know, better nutritional choices as far as you being able to afford them. Uh, as far as your willingness to discipline yourself to sacrifice certain things that you eat, you know, it's not gonna, like, say for instance for me, like, right, and I'm not even casting no aspersions about people that smoke marijuana, but or drink for that matter, right? People drink and they smoke. All right, cool. For me, I work out so much that shit don't even fit into my, like, I don't even want to drink or smoke that much no more. I was just talking to my cousin about this a second ago, but I literally First of all, I don't smoke no more, and I was like Snoop Dogg was smoking for years, and then now I don't even drink as much. So I was like, damn, bro, I don't even get no kind of intoxicated or I be clear minded, and I don't be feeling like I want to, cause it just don't go with you know working out as much as I do. I really be on my physical fitness shit. You know what I'm saying? And so like I don't be feeling like I be so I guess maybe high off of pumping that iron that I don't even feel like I need it no more. I remember it was a time where I was just doing it because I felt like I had to, because I was just used to it. I was smoking and I was drinking a lot because it's all I ever knew and all I ever did. But as your lifestyle changes, certain things just don't fit into it no more. So I think as people begin to do certain things to take care of themselves, they're going to automatically open up another part of their brain that's going to be motivated to think about and figure out ways to be nutritionally fit with your food. And you're just not going to want to, do things that's going to counteract the progress that you're making with your body, with your physical fitness. And that's definitely how, what happened for me. And I could, speak on that from my experience. I just like when I don't even feel like I have to drink no more. Like when I drink, it's literally only because we being social. But I don't drink, I don't smoke. You know what I mean? And that's just like I said, not even saying nothing like I'm just some perfect person. I just don't be wanting to. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to want to all the time, and I just don't want to no more.
That makes sense. That's beautiful. I mean, that's progress, that's growth, and everything is
Yeah,
only
yeah,
temporary anyway, man. So
yeah.
it's like we just keep pushing and we adapting and growing. Maybe one day you'll be Bob Marley and Snoop Dogg all over again in another, a whole other
Whatever works
phase,
for
right?
you.
10 years
Yeah,
later,
whatever
whatever. Who
works for
knows,
you.
right? Yeah, exactly.
I
So
don't know.
everybody just living their journeys, and I'm definitely fasting and then smoking again and working on fasting more than smoking. That's where that's taking my little breaks, and then but when I be back smoking, I'll be back smoking a lot. I'll be like, damn, is this
Me too.
really
I remember when
balanced?
I used to take breaks and not smoke again. It's like that's why I stopped though, because I know I'm not the type of nigga that could just smoke sometimes. If I smoke, I'm smoking. So I said,
Right,
fuck it,
like
I'm
we
not smoking.
smoking.
You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
If I smoke, I'm
Yeah,
smoking a pound. I'm smoking every day. I'm keeping it, all that. So I just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna smoke. I remember I
become a
threw like when I was
meditation.
stopping, I had to throw weed away just so I wouldn't even have it in the house. If it's here, I'm smoking. I'm not like that no
Right.
more. I can be around it. It can be in the house. So I got some weed right now that I got from a dude that I did this podcast with. He was just giving away weed, and they just in there. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't like that no more. But I remember that time when I first stopped. If it was around me, I'm smoking it. I had to throw some weed away just 'cause I didn't want to smoke it. I literally threw like an eighth in the trash can.
Man,
You know what
go
I'm
on and
saying?
go on and bless a lonely stoner out there on the block one day, man. Go on and get that little jar of weed away, man. You know what
Probably
I'm saying?
will. I probably will. I got like 10 blunts rolled up that's been sitting there for about a good year and a half, bro. That weed probably
Look,
bullshitting.
see, yeah, man.
They all rolled up already, and I'm not smoking them. They just in there right now.
Go to Venice Beach and sprinkle those on a few little, you
Go,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, go
Mm-hmm.
give them away, huh?
Little bystanders, they're gonna appreciate it. They're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, go give me some blessings real quick.
Yeah, you're gonna be like a legend over there now. You're gonna get a saint
That
pass
day he
over
just
there.
came, gave them away some weed.
But then they're gonna expect it the next time. I don't
Man,
expect it
there be
next
so
time.
much of that in Cali going on, man. People be giving away weed here. You go to a party, you got, pre-roll joints on deck, and you know,
Pre-rolls are everywhere, but man, I
Cali's a
understand
different
that
animal.
yeah, it's a different animal altogether. Definitely with the weed, especially if you travel and understand the difference, and you know the difference. It's like this ain't Cali. You be somewhere, you be like, yeah, this ain't Cali. Mm-hmm.
Man, I remember when I was smoking, just the whole going back to Atlanta and it still being illegal, and the emotional mind fuck that that would be. Now I'm worried about getting pulled over and like just like 3 hours ago I was in LA and I was straight. I get to Atlanta, I got to worry, I got to think about where I'm riding and all this weird shit.
It was wild too because there was an era and it was so wild to me that the dichotomy of this, right, is it was interesting because it was like that 2008, 9, 10, 11 in that pocket, right? And you could, LA, it was like when you could get the rec cards really easy in LA. You just make a call, I
Yeah.
got assignment, yeah, you got your little license. It hadn't gone like fully, fully legal yet, but it's still Cali, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
but because it's Cali, you couldn't smoke no weed in no like a club, right? You couldn't smoke weed in the club in
Right.
LA, right? But in
Yeah.
Atlanta, you had to be like worried all about getting the weed and having the weed on you and getting pulled over and all that, but you could blow that shit down in the club.
Get to the club, you straight.
It was crazy. I was like, it's like you don't got to worry about it outside in LA, but once you get into the club or if you want to blow it down, it's trouble. It's trouble in Atlanta if you want to get it, but once you
Well,
get in
that's
the
facts.
club, you good. You know what I mean, that was always a
Right.
trip for me.
No, that's facts. That's facts.
That
No, I
Atlanta,
never
that
thought
Atlanta
about it that way.
ATL.
That's a fact.
Yeah, ATL.
Yep.
Shout out the whole ATL, Dungeon Family,
Yeah,
organized
shout out to
mowers.
whole
The
ETL,
whole
man.
the whole ATL man, and shout out Young Ralph, man. We just chopping it up. Yeah, it's good, man. I think the Atlanta LA connection is a dope connection too. It's been a lot of history, in that connection right there.
That's that. That's a super
It should
fact.
be explored more, man. That'd be a dope movie, that'd be a dope movie. Speaking of movies, do you think that there should be a remake of The Spook Who Sat by the Door?
Man, they was trying to do it with Dead Prez a while back. It was a while back too. It was like right around September 11th. You know, I know I'm dating myself with that, but yeah,
Well,
by
you
that
already
time they
dated
was talking about
yourself by
doing it,
meeting
and
Pac, man. You old. You dated yourself by knowing Pac
yeah,
and
I
all
know,
that.
right? Oh God,
Mm.
yeah, but nah. To answer your question, definitely, bro. It'd just be a dope movie. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Because it was a dope movie.
any other remakes you think it'd be dope? There was like movies like that, just like some underground legendary shit.
Man, Boys in the Hood would be a good remake because that was so long ago.
Singleton, man, rest in peace, man. Beautiful human being, man. Great, great man. It was dope. I got
Yeah,
a dope memory with him.
man, Juice would be a dope remake.
You know what? John Singleton, we're gonna take a moment here. John Singleton was industrial strength dopeness.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, Nipsey Hussle, Dead Prez, Pac, Outlaw,
Mm-hmm.
all industrial strength dopeness. You know what I
That's
mean?
a
Like,
fact.
yeah, and it's beautiful to keep these stories alive, right? You know what I'm saying? And keep this shit
Mm-hmm.
going. And, you know, certain people get, a lot of access, and we those type of
Yeah.
people. And you're one of those type of people, and that's what I knew about you. And that's why I wanted to just chop game with you, man. You my brother, you my comrade, you my big homie, you know what I'm saying? And all that. But, I respect you as the artist you are in the world, right? And I definitely want to chop game and do anything I can to, facilitate, you know,
Mm.
putting eyes and ears on your movement,
Man, thank you,
So,
bro. As you always have, man.
so
As
it's
you always
love,
have,
man.
man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's love, right to
But
you and the kids. And it's Pisces season creeping up, man.
gang. My birthday next Sunday, as a matter of fact. Yours is what, like a week and a half after that?
Yeah, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. So mine's a week away. Yours is too.
Yeah, man. It was you're gonna have to tell the people, man, next interview, you can tell the people what it was like going to school with Marcus Garvey's father. Because I know you that old. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk
You're a
about
fool
that.
for that. You're a fool for that. Said Marcus Garvey's father. Nigga, that's like Malcolm X days. Nigga, where you come from?
Hey,
You know,
hey, shout out.
Malcolm X daddy was a part of that organization, that movement.
Right, I do know this, and it's Malcolm.
Yeah.
It's 100th birthday this year. Malcolm X's 100th
Is that right?
birthday. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. Shout out to the great one. And,
That's a fact. 1925, huh?
yep, El Haj Malik Shabazz. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
100, man. On the same year as the 25th anniversary of Dead Prez, Let's Get Free.
Yeah.
Kind of
That's
interesting
amazing.
alignment. Yeah, beautiful alignment
That
right
is.
there, I
That's an
think.
amazing correlation.
Yeah, I like
It's
that
an
a lot.
amazing correlation.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you
I'm
think of
looking
this?
forward to what they doing this year.
What do you think of this Kendrick? This Kendrick's, everybody done broke down the Super Bowl and all that. We ain't got to chop that up. But what do you think of just him being able to subtextually? And
Mm-hmm.
you know what? This is a bigger question, right? Let me rephrase this. How beautiful of an art form is rap, the coded language that started in Africa, right? Before it got, to the Bronx. Well, that's another conversation, right? But that coded language of rap, like he was able to do so much and say so much in front of people that just didn't get it, right? Because they don't
Mm-hmm.
speak the language, they don't know the nuances,
Yeah,
right?
I can see that.
And so like, isn't it so beautiful? And did you appreciate how he did that and how he dropped so much subtext and like contextually just a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of nuggets? Like, how you
Oh,
feel about that?
no, I absolutely appreciated it. Uh, I feel like, I feel like he doing what he's supposed to do. I feel like he representing for the people that do have ears to hear, you know what I'm saying, and eyes to see. Um, yeah, I think it's exposing a lot of people, like, even the fact that, so many people had differing opinions. Um, I think it's indicative of it being art, what he's doing being a real art form, excuse me, which in a recent interview I heard from him was one of the main things that he was speaking to hip hop as an art form, right? And I think the fact that he, just based on his own words, was focused on it being an art form, right? That being his focus, his intention. And then everybody having a different perception and perspective on what he's doing from everything, from, the rap battle to the Super Bowl performance to even his music nowadays, right? It's indicative of how much of an art form, how much intention that he puts into hip hop as an art form. Um, it just shows that because it's like a typical piece of art that you see on the wall. Different people gonna have different opinions about if they like it or not, the meaning behind it, you know, the colors used and everything about it. And I think that that's exactly what he's doing with music. And I think it's a beautiful thing to see and to prove as far as music being an art form. He's treating it like an art form. He's showing us that music, just like a painted picture, is an art. It's an art form. It's an art form. It's not something that's supposed to just be a printed out copy like a lot of people treat it. They just kind of, pick up on whatever the new wave is as opposed to just making art, making a picture that comes from your heart and your expression that God gave you to put out into the world. I think that's what he's doing. I think that just, it's a blessing. He's blessed to be able to do it the way that he's able to do it. Yeah, just to be able to make art and then to be appreciated. So, and be talked about. So I think that, especially like you said, as far as getting messages across, back to again what I said at the beginning of this conversation about what Matulu would say about what hip hop is. It's a great weapon because you can say things, you can get things over, right, and count it in certain messages and almost hide certain messages within the art form that, like I said, if you got ears to hear and eyes to see, you know exactly what he's doing, what he's trying to say, certain things. And some of those messages just ain't meant for certain ears, you know what I'm saying? So in a real way, he's planting seeds, uh, in people and in our kids because he's on the big stage right now. So the kids can't help but hear what's going on. And whether they like drill music, whether they like, this type of music or that type of music, the type of music that's being pushed to the forefront right now is his type of music. And his type of music is based on a real art form. So if whatever you're doing, just make it, artistic, be artistic with it. And I think that's the message that comes across more than anything. I think him being black, that goes without saying. Him speaking from the black experience, that goes without saying. So it's gonna be revolutionary concepts in there. It's gonna be stuff that you can relate to as a black person in his music quite naturally. And so that, you know, that's gonna be in there. So I'm just happy and I'm proud that, you know, he's able to, you know, get as much notoriety and appreciation that he's getting right now. You know what I'm saying? So hats off to him.
That's right, man. I see you just dropped a new video with Young Noble, Edie, and
Mhm.
the Outlaws. What else you got going
Yeah.
on?
Man, right now I'm just having fun with it, man. You know, I'm living life. I'm doing all right in life. You know what I'm saying? Raising my sons. I got two beautiful sons. I love them very much. I'm proud of both of them.
I
I'm
feel
making music. You know, I'm putting my intentions and my affirmations out there. Things are going well, man. You know, so I'll probably just drop some more music. You know, I'll drop some more music. I'm thinking about dropping a project in the next few months, but we'll see. I'm not even really uh planning next year. I'm planning this year. I probably will drop a project, but lately I've just been focused on just dropping music. I got so much music to put out. I just said I'm not gonna die with this shit. So lately I've just been working on myself and making sure I put out this music that I got already. And then, you know, I'll probably say, man, probably around the summertime, I'll probably start thinking about actually putting out a project. You know what I mean? Like a full project. But right now I'm just putting out music that I've been sitting on, making videos, having fun with it, you know, and just giving it to the people, man. And, you know, not even putting way too much thought or planning into it, but just making sure that I do me, you know what I mean? And making sure that, you know, my intention gets across. So that's really what I'm focused on right now. And I truly believe that doing that will lead to something, you know, lead to the next thing, basically. Lead to the next thing, not even trying to force it, but just I got this music, you know, I was in the studio a whole lot. So I got a gang of songs and my plan is to put it out. That's my plan. Is to put out the music, you know what I mean? And live life, raise my kids, get my money, and just, you know, be spiritual, you know, praise God, praise Ludamare, make sure I stay tapped into my creator, my ancestors, and show my kids how to do that, you know what I'm saying? And show my people how to, you know, express themselves through their music, through their art. The song was called Braggadocious. It's the song, well, I just felt like I was just popping it, showing that I could rap too, you know, so I got so much, my shit's so versatile, man. I got so much different kind of shit. And I just wanted to show niggas that I could really rap. You know what I mean? That you know, I could fuck with the bars and lyrics if I felt like it, which I can. I just, you know, be feeling different ways in the studio at different times. And so, you know, I just plan on putting all this shit out, fucking people up, surprising them every time. I think that especially back, I done put out like 5 singles within the last few months, and they all different. So, just doing me.
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. Keep putting it
Thank
out.
you,
And I'm
bro.
gonna speak. I don't know if anybody else out there that's a fan of your music or that will become a fan of you and your music feels the same way, but I just think that you got a sharp mind when it comes to visuals, and I'd like to see
Mm,
you direct something. So I'm gonna plant
mm,
that seed in your mind. Like I'd like to see you direct a short film, or a music video, where you direct the whole thing, whatever, right? Whatever you might be inspired to do. But I think that that could be a dope thing for you. And
mm,
I do want to say, in closing, too, that there
mm.
wasn't one time you slid in the title for your song, Slow Motion. So no money goes to no charity for you. You
You
know?
know, I thought about that when you were saying industrial strength, and I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
damn, I should have said it. I should have tied and titled it some other kind of way because I could not figure out no kind of way to say slow motion. So slow
That's
motion, slow
cool.
motion, slow motion, slow motion, slow motion, slow motion, slow motion. Goddamn it!
Well, I feel you, right? I like, yeah, I see where you're going.
It don't get no
Well,
more organic than that, nigga. Slow
nah, no
motion,
more organic.
motherfucker.
We're gonna donate an honorary 5%, and or, you know, you let us know
Yeah,
who to. And here on Industrial Strength Dopeness, man, we like to put great ideas out into the universe. You never know what
yes,
could
sir.
come back. So, as a part of every interview, you pick your song title, and now we're at the end of the interview, and you and I need to come up with a quick elevator pitch to pitch that title as a movie. So that song will be the title song for a movie and slow motion, and it has to have a role for either Snoop Dogg, Viola Davis, or Danny DeVito. It could star anybody else, and it could be as elaborate as you want it to be. What would our pitch be to make slow motion the movie? What do you think? Who else would star in slow motion?
You moving too fast, y'all. Slow it down. Slow motion.
Slow motion.
Starring Snoop Dogg, Danny DeVito, and King Zayd coming in.
King Zayd. What genre would slow motion be?
Nah, that shit is goddamn. That's a fucking drama right there.
That's a drama.
That's a drama.
A hard day's work started early, and the drama continued on slow motion.
Slow motion.
Slow motion.
You got the car creeping down the street, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Everything slow motion. The whole movie.
Slow motion.
The whole movie slow motion.
Yeah.
60 frames a second.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. I can see that shit right now, bro.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah. Okay, dope. All right, dope, man. Well, man, I appreciate that, man. That's dope. I think that'd be a dope movie. Y'all, anybody out there want to make slow motion starring Snoop Dogg, Danny DeVito, and Zayd Malik, a drama based around a man going through some fucked up shit or something, I guess. We missed the plot. We're figuring the plot out. You know what I'm saying? But it's slow motion. It's slow motion. There's something going on.
Nah, the plot is like everybody moving so fast and it's chaotic, and his superpower is that he just slows shit the fuck down.
Boom. See, look at that. It's a superpower movie. It's Marvel.
The fuck down. He just moves a little slower than everybody else. Everybody think he's slow, but on the low, he winning. He got a whole stack of money in the house, and then he got cars parked over here, and they like, I thought he was slow.
Big stacks.
He getting that slow money.
Big Cadillac. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. Okay, I like that a lot.
Fast, slow motion.
Superpower movie, superhero movie. He got the new superpower, turn everything slow motion, everything too fast, slow it down a little bit with Danny DeVito, Snoop Dogg, and Zayd Malik coming this summer.
Hey.
Anybody you want to put that budget up, you just tap in. It's part of the show. Every episode. Zayd Malik, thank you, brother, for tuning in with us, man. You are Industrial Strength Dopeness.
Yes, sir.
Keep being great.
Come on.
And, doing what you do. May you live 100 years and more, and all your hard work pay off for your family, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank to you, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this, man. I have fun. Great conversations, man. Industrial strength dope. You know what I'm saying?
Dopeness. Yeah, industrial strength dopeness.
Dopeness.
I got that name.
Powerhouse, man. Powerhouse Wade.
Yeah, Powerhouse Wade. I got the industrial strength dopeness from Mark Curry. Shout out Mark Curry. Okay. He nicknamed me that.
Shout out.
I got it from Mos Def, Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def. And then I said it to Mark Curry when we were hanging out, and then he just nicknamed me that, and I've been carrying it. So shout out to Yasin Bey. Shout out to Mark Curry. Shout out to Dave Chappelle, for that matter, for creating the environment for us to hang out in, for that to happen.
There you go.
Shout out to Zayd Malik. Salute.
Yeah, buddy. Keep it slow motion, baby. Salute.
Slow motion. Let's get it. All right, peace, buddy. Much love.
Peace, chat. Love.